How you doing, everybody? It's Friday the 29th of January 2010, and I just want to do a wee bit of a follow-up, if I could, about this the last post I did on, what is time and does it really exist. And the reason I raised this is because from you come into the world, you have all these constructs, these templates thrust on top of you. Like we have the physical constraints of the ultimate template, which is our brain and our sensory perceptions. We have it, so it's the sort of the basic model, and then all these other things are laid on top of it. The likes of religion, the likes of the concept of time, the likes of economic systems, social systems and political systems. And we go through life, and I think a large number of people never question any of it, and maybe they're happier because of that, I don't know, but I've one of these minds that just question everything, and the older I get, the more cynical I become, and the more I question literally everything. And I'm not saying it's the best way to be, because, as I say, it does make you, I have a high level of cynicism in my life. I have a basic belief system. I know lots of people out there don't, but I do. And I think in getting the answers which I got to the questions, and I must say, I must congratulate people. A lot of the people that answered have a much better understanding of it than I have. I have a sort of a crude, basic, sort of innate sort of understanding of this thing that we call as time. And I hope that whatever I say, it doesn't attack people's belief systems or whatever. The only raison d'etre, the only reason why I'm on about this stuff is because I want people to think. I want people to question everything. And the more fundamental it is, I want people to question it even more, and to be happy and reasoned in their mind that it is a reasonable notion. And as I say, I've been stunned at the responses, but they did break down basically the way that I thought they would break down. They broke down into two elements. They broke down into a sort of a scientific bent, a scientific type of response, and then they broke down into a sort of a more personal, more personalised, more philosophical bent. And both of them have validity, obviously. I don't really want to start arguing the debate about whether or not time does actually exist in the external world. All I want people to not accept but think about is that there are two realities. There is an external reality, and called an objective reality, and there is a subjective reality, which is conditioned ultimately by this great template that we have here, and these things and these things and these things and all that, okay? The inputs into this thing. So that's really all I want to say about it, except, as I say, the answers broke down into two camps, as it were, and I don't really want to start getting into the argument and debate about the scientific camp. I just want to put a caveat up about the scientific thing. To me, science is the new religion. Science has really pushed religion to one side in the world. Religion doesn't have the enthrallment and the cloak of respectability that it did have, but science still does, and lots of people are deluded by it and taken in by it. And you must never forget that some of the greatest fascists and Nazis were the scientists under Hitler, and you must never forget that. I think we're entering an age of soft fascism. I think that's one of the reasons why I brought all this up, and I think that we need more and more and more people to be critical and to be thinking sentient creatures, and not to listen to all this claptrap that's just thrust on us day to day in, day to day out, and just accept it point blank. We have been given this templatable brain. But having said all that, we still got to use what ammo we have, what processes we have, and we've got to try and dissect and make sense of the so-called reality that we live in. And so that's really what it's all about. As I say, there's two elements: scientific response and a more philosophical response. But I just would like, before I finish, just to quote some of the philosophical inputs that came from various people who put up comments. Some of them are brilliant. I think some of them are just fabulous. This fellow called Pardo Dub, he wrote, "Time is a concept we use to measure the rate of change in the universe." I think that's brilliant. I really do. Hugh C., he said, a fabulous one. He said, "Time is a conceptual, descriptive tool that our limited minds use to make sense of our existence." I think it's powerful. That's a powerful statement for like just a single line. Just a single line out of a comment, you know. And then Searcelot, he said a similar thing. He said, "It's an idea that humans have woven." Isn't that brilliant? It's like almost like a poetic response. Almost like something like a bard would come off with it. Wonderful. A real Irish job that is. Probably, the man's probably not an Irishman, but he is anyway. And then Blogoff and Dye said, "Time is a necessary illusion." And that's another one. And then P.R. Hughes, he said, he came up with a very interesting concept of it. He said, "No mind, no perception, discrimination or comparison, ergo no time." And I think that's, see, a lot of what's in there is irrefutable logic. I mean, you know, it's hard to debate and hard to analyse. But anyway, that's all really I wanted to say. I just think we're entering a new age, and the new age that we confront, I don't think it's going to be done in massive steps. I don't think we're going to arrive at fascism by you know, you wake up one morning and suddenly there's a fascist state. I think it's going to be done by stealth. I think it's going to be done by all sort of smoke and mirrors type trick. But it will be slow. It'll be it'll come in like a stages theory type thing. It'll come in steps, baby steps at first, and then they'll get bigger. But come the soft fascism, assure us who there will come the hard fascism, and we'll all regret the day that we had these YouTube facilities and ours and we didn't make more use of it. So while it's here, and while I have the availability of this space, my thing is, if possible, to try and force people to think. That's all. Think for yourselves. Think, and you know, utilise what the grey matter that we have available to try to come to terms with this abyss, this economic and political abyss that we face. Because as sure as shooting, it ain't going to go away, and it is going to get a lot worse. And out of it will come, I think, as I say, I think will come this soft fascism. Anyway, we'll talk more about that as we go along. Okay, good luck everybody.